Hi everyone, this is Natraj. I'm back with another video. Today I'm going to talk about that creating the VPC network along with the Cloud Nat in Google Cloud using Terraform. Overview about that Google Cloud VPC. In generally, the VPC is the networking service which allow to create your managing your own logical isolation VPC network. You can also define that controlling the IP address, subnet mask, routing, firewall rule for your VPC. This recommendation is help to organize and isolate the various components of your cloud environment. But generally, it can improve your security and network performance. VPC network. The Google Cloud offer the three types of VPC network. The first one is that default mode VPC. Second one is that auto mode VPC. Third one is that custom mode VPC. We can see that one by one we can elaborately. The first one is that default mode VPC. Every project it's provide that default VPC along with that subnet mask and firewall rules. But by default the ingress rules can allowed with anywhere. Next one is that auto mode VPC. In this network, the one subnet for the each region it can automatically create it. Also, it automatically creates the subnet mask with set of that predefined IP range with /20 subnetwork per region. We can also expandable up to 16. Next one is that custom mode VPC. The custom mode VPC does not creating that automatically subnet. The user can decide that which subnet need to create into the region as well as choosing the IP range. VPC architecture diagram. In this video, we will create the VPC network along with that public subnet and private subnet. Once the subnet is created, then we are creating the Cloud Nat associated with that private subnet. So using the NAT gateway with the help of accessing into the internet. So those things we are written with the Terraform. We are at the Visual Studio Code. The entire code is available on my repository. You can download from any time. The left hand side you can see the Terraform tree structures. So first we will going to see on that main.tl file. The first one is that the data source. The data source mainly used to get that information about the resource. You can see here I defining the two values. One is the region and the project. Those things I getting from that data. Next one is that local blocks. The local blocks mainly used to assigning the name to that expression or value. In my case I use a types and the zones I am getting from that my previous data source block. Next one is that Google Compute Network. Mainly is to create the VPC network. We can see the parameter. Naming parameter I can get the value from the variables. Next one is that delete underscore default underscore route on create equal to make it false. Basically that if you are defining with that 0.0.0/0, it will be delete immediately after creation of that VPC, but if you make it in false it won't delete at all. Next parameter is that auto create subnetwork. The values make it false. Basically here that won't create any subnets. Next one is the routing underscore mode. Even I am defining the value called regional. So mainly used to that route that subnetwork of the network of your same region. The next resource is that Google Compute subnetwork. This particular resource going to create with a subnet. You can see the parameter. The naming parameter can concurrent with the variables and local blocks. Next one is that IP CID range, that I am getting the value from the variable. I defining it the list, so I am grabbing with the indexing value. Next is that region. Region also I am getting from the variables. Next parameter is the network. So initially I created a VPC. I am grabbing from that ID. So the private subnet mask is also more or less similar. The only key difference is that private IP Google access I make it with the true, basically, which means that without external IP address I can able to access with the Google APIs. Next resource is the Google Compute route. This resource is going to create with that router in the VPC. You can see the parameter naming also I can concurrent with the variables and local blocks. Next is the region. The region equal to I'm allowing with my public subnet. And another thing is that networks related, I am whatever the id I created, that VPC, that id I'm passing here. So next resource is a Google Compute Route Nat. This particular resource going to allow that in that global world. You can see the parameter, the naming parameter also I can concurrenting with that variables and the local blocks. The router value I am referring with my router name. The region also I refer with that router region whichever I created. The main important parameter we have to check with that NAT IP allocated option equal to auto allow only, which means that allowing that all the NAT IP address. Next is that source subnet IP range to that NAT. Here we are allowing that all the IP ranges in every subnet mask are allowing to the NAT. Also you can see the subnet also below IP source IP range to that NAT I am putting with all IP range. I am allowing with that all the IP range here. So next we are moving to the variables. So here you can see the product, region, name, that IP CID range. I said no earlier that I am mentioning the list, so I am defining the default value here. Next one also the firewall. The firewall I am going to allow with that SSH port number, also that 80 and 443. Next one is the provider. This provider block you can see the credentials. Here already I created a service account to provide the full privilege to create the VPC. So I am mentioning with that JSON file here. Another also that .kitnet ignore. You can ignore this file whenever you try to push the code. I am skipping this JSON credential file, also libraries, under that my state file also. We can move into the terminal, we can executing this entire operations. So I am going to click the three dot here. I choose a terminal, I open with a new terminal. So directly I can executing that Terraform init command, which can downloading all the plugins. Then I can executing the Terraform plan command to validate my syntax. So everything is good. Now I am going to executing with the Terraform apply command. It asking the user input is yes. Also I can elaborating with that output. You can see I think 7 resource going to add it. I am providing with yes input here. Now the Terraform operation successfully executed. We'll go to that GCP console to validate that entire thing. So right now it will be showing the default VPC network. So just a refreshing page. Here my cloud root -VPC is created. The firewall also will be created here. Again going to validate with the Cloud Nat. Here the Cloud Nat service also created successfully. It will be showing as a public. I hope this video will be useful to everyone. Thanks for watching. Bye.